Hello everyone. Here's a third game of Songsong against Project Belgium. Two good players, similar skill levels, I would say. Project Belgium here with Chinese in the blue. And Songsong playing Celts in the red. Sometimes it's unfortunate when you start a game and you build a house so close to the gold like that, eh? But all good. So let's take a look. So it looks like Project Belgium is scouting pretty quickly here. And we're going to up the speed a touch, I think, in the Dark Age in these games. Well, how do I go between speeds? It's fast. Oh, it's fast. Okay. So I will say here, it looks like Songsong is going in for the lane, but Project Belgium was paying attention, and looks like a close fight between the two of them. 2 more hit points for Project Belgium. He has a... Oh, and... Ooh, that's unfortunate timing. Turns back at the last second. Pulling in a boar. So he does have a nice, I'm going to say really nice map. Back berries, back wood. You know, it's easy to close. Another backwood. Like, I mean, the only thing I would say about this map is the stone. Oh, he's got stone back here too. Jeez. So, anyways. Amazing map. And if you look at Songsong's economy here, he does have those extra 2 sheep that he grabbed. And looks like he's doing a mill here. So, not doing a pre-milled drush or anything like that. What's this villager doing out here? Walling, I guess? Going forward. Oh. Trying to find a boar. That's what he's trying to do. I guess he thought it was out here in the dark space there, and... Oh my god! Oh! I tried to get him! Oops. It's tough to time that, so essentially what you do is if a boar is about to get you, you need to drop the house tile and build on it right where the boar is standing, and that'll stop it from attacking. Some people call it de-aggroing. They make it not aggressive anymore. But, oops. Did get a villager there. So he is closing in all the way here. This is not what I expected. And he is luring a lot of resources. Another ostrich, trying to anyway. If it looks like a fast castle build here, I'm gonna say. I still feel like these fast castle builds are so much easier if you go with the drush first. But I guess in this case, Project Belgium had an easy to wall map, so it might make sense not to. And wow, you don't see this commonly on Arabia. A double fast castle build. He's going fast castle too. Judging by the resources and everything that's going on here. Obviously, Songsong is down a villager, which is not ideal, but... And what's he going? Is he going archers, or is he going knights? Knights. Okay. And a market. Okay. Don't see that very common. Yeah, let's look at Project Belgium here. Archers. If you were to ask me to guess which one's going what, I would have told you the exact opposite. I would have said Project Belgium's going to go stable with camels or knights, and Songsong is going to go archers with Celts. But I guess I'm completely wrong. Now, the one thing about this base and going archers is if you have a siege push from Celts, defending with archers is very awkward, especially when your resources can be ranged by mangonels, which in both cases these can be. I guess you do have 1 backwood, which maybe makes it safe enough to risk it, but... and it looks like Songsong built a second scout just to see what's going on, and he sees the archers coming. And they do have the armor upgrade. And Songsong has decided to add a blacksmith, okay. Market and blacksmith, okay. Now that it's a decision time, though. Because these are about to become crossbows. Are you going siege to defend or knights to defend? And maybe it's both, but you do have to decide that. We'll see here. It's awkward because you could definitely get range this wood. And this one too. I mean, they're both in not the best spots. So he is going knights for sure. I am kind of expecting a siege shot, but maybe it is just knights. And I guess if you get the armor upgrade, you should be okay. As you see, and at the same time, Project Belgium is retreating. And he did sneak a siege shop up here, which is exactly what I was saying. You want to get some siege out if you're Celts, especially against archers. And we'll see here. Is he going to add a... You have a choice. Do you add a single stable, or what do you want to do about this? Because obviously with small numbers of siege, you can usually micro around it, and it's not the worst idea, but I think this siege shop is a very smart idea by Songsong this game. And this is where I think if it was me, I'd be adding a stable first. I probably would add a stable first, but a siege shop is just as good. You're going to need to counter some of these with your own mangonels. But the other thing you got to remember is it's you got both your forward golds out here. You got both your wood piles that you're currently using out here. It's a critical spot. He is still trying to counterattack here, which is looking like a really good idea. Now, the one thing I will say is when you counterattack, you have two options. You can go with a big force or you can go with a small force. And I think that in this case, this is perfect. You can range these archers. You can't really deal with this with knights because they're packed in here. And the main gold of Songsong is definitely in trouble there. Now, on the flip side, if you had a couple knights here and one mangonel, these are not getting out alive. So, it's... Let's see what Songsong decided to do. So he has 3 knights, 4 knights, with +1 armor. Against 8 crossbows, I think you can take that out. It's going to be a close fight. No, I think you win pretty decisively, actually. Especially if you close the gap before fighting, which is what happened here. So obviously you shoot and run, and you try and find a little nook to hide in, but there doesn't look to be one. I guess there's one tile there, maybe, but when it's only 3 knights, most are going to be able to hit anyway. Oh, and I'm completely wrong. Look at that. Well, only 1 knight can fight at a time. So, in fact, the crossbows will die, but they got some good value, I'm going to say. Now, the interesting part here is Project Belgium has definitely been trying to repair, but his town center is going to drop. And this is where I was saying, you know, if you had 1 stable, at least, you know, 2 knights and you can pick these off. But with siege shops, you're really relying on mangonel micro, and in some cases he can run uphill, right? So you got... And he's also got knights around, which can pick off your mangonels as well. So it feels a little sketchy here. It looks like Songsong is down in the population, though. He's got 7 population less. But that usually makes sense when someone's going archers, because they're cheaper units. But let's see villagers here. And I don't think villagers are actually going to decide this, in all honesty. I do think what's going to decide this one is going to be if Songsong wins this fight or not, you know, this area. It looks like Project Belgium is up by 7 villagers, which seems to be a common theme the last few games. And okay, here we go. 3 mangonels. Good 1-to-1 trade there. Okay. And going for a second siege job. Oh my god. Okay. Honestly, though, if Songsong pushed into the main gold here and didn't focus on this, I mean, he's got 2 mangonels and a Scorp. I mean, that's enough to really just... There's no TCs here. It's 40 villagers, right? So, in all honesty, it looks very dicey. He is going for the counterattack, trying to get this villager. But that spear sacrifice kind of made it so he's noticed this. Looks like it is going to be going for a counterattack there. Ooh, almost got it. Now... This counterattack could do some good damage, too. Oh. Ow. He saw... Oh, you wanted to get the mangonel. Okay. Going for counterattack number 2. Probably the same spot, actually. Uh-oh. Ooh. Big hit there. Ooh, second big hit. He's definitely watching the mangonel micro, and this is... Like I said, it doesn't matter. Noob or pro. 2 spots at the same time is never easy, especially not to do really well. And especially when it's mangonels, because these are expensive units too. So obviously getting a shot with 4 archers is a big deal. But if you screw up and lose a mangonel at the same time, you know, 4 archers is pretty close to the cost of 1 mangonel. So in all honesty, it's and he is going knights now. I definitely was strongly encouraging this earlier in the game. And when it turns into a mangonel, where there's so many like it is here. But Songsong has done the right thing as well and had a few monks here and some pikes, well, spears. And so it's not going to be as easy for just one knight to rail these down or anything like that. But oh, and he is going into scout. I would have encouraged this. I would definitely encourage this. You don't know what your opponent has until you look, so. He is definitely taking down the buildings here. And this is where you always want to send one mangonel forward. If you see a big group like that, always send one forward. Because he aimed for that mangonel, he killed that one. So if there's a big group, you always want to split them up at least a little bit. And he's going in with the knights. Now this is going to come down to Monk Micro. Maybe. So he got one of them first. And it looks like he'll be able to save his mangonels here. You don't want to lose your knights, because then that could be a problem, so. Then he's building pretty much everything here. He did grab a relic, too. He's even stonewalling him out of this. Realize there's 2 golds here, might as well stonewall him out. Might get his villager trapped in the process. Fair enough. Always a good idea to add outposts if you're in a mangonel war. And if you see some monks hiding like this, absolutely. Go in and then go back. You might get a shot, you might not. Knight coming. He sees that knight, so he repaired, and he's adding the spears. Ooh, that shot was bad. I think that these 3 units would have done enough on their own. Oh! Steals the knight. Ooh. Good timing. You need this monk right away. Very good defense by Project Belgium there. Oh! 1 hit point. Get him, Mr. Villager. So, this one's actually looking pretty unique, because I think... yeah, I was going to say, I think Songsong, even though he had some trouble with the military here, he's catching up because he's got an untouched economy. And they're both adding a second town center. It looks like Project Belgium is preparing for a castle. It's going to be tough to secure those golds with that castle, I'm going to say. And this one's going to be running low in a bit. But it would stop the push entirely if you put it here or something like that. So, and this is a great combination. A few knights and some archers. Ooh, what a shot. Now this is where you definitely keep retreating and just let the knights do it. Oh, and he gets it because he turns back. He thought he predicted and was attacking ground in this direction. So now I'd say it's really interesting because if you could put that castle on this hill, oh hello, or even on Songsong's base in some way, shape, or form, that would be excellent. And it looks like he has the army to do that. He does see that he's being walled out here. So if we look at Songsong's base here, let's see what's going on. That's Gaia. Okay, 3 town centers, doesn't have enough for a castle, is still making knights and the occasional scout for the... But more often than that, he's booming. So this is where the second... We'll see how much Project Belgium can take the initiative now that he's kind of won this Castle Age fight. And this is where, if you can watch your opponent and do some scouting, and you see that, hey, he's got 3 or even 4 town centers, that castle, obviously it's not always easy to know where to put it, but ideal spot in between both these town centers, I think. Now you don't... Oh, he's attacking ground. Okay, good. Because if you attack the building, I think sometimes it hits your own units, so... It's a little weird, but... Such is the way it goes. So 61 villagers, 63 villagers here. Looking pretty close. He's going for the hill. That's the safe hill, I would say. If you're not sure how much more army you have, that is probably the safest one. Right in between you and your opponent, and he is still going tons on stone. And this is where I often tell top players this. I mean, not new players, because if you're on stone, you might need more castles, right? It's not a bad decision by any stretch. But after you got the first one, sometimes it's better to repurpose them to go on other resources to make sure you hit the next age quicker if you're not going elite the unique unit. Or to stay on stone if you're going to be able to use this castle to find a better spot to put the second castle. and really do some damage. So you have to decide, and I think a lot of people just kind of leave things where they were. But in all honesty, the best way to do it is to decide which one's better. You can see him kind of hunting down the monks here. Is he going to get the other one? No. But he got one of them. So he is focusing more on the buildings than on pushing forward. Okay, some knights coming in here. So these knights are going to kill all this siege. It was very well done by Songsong here. Going for the Mangonel first, the most expensive unit. Lowest hit points. And he's adding a second one here. I do not agree with this at all. Second castles, unless you have a Treb War and there's castles here that are going to give you issues, I think your second one is going to be somewhere in the middle of your economy. Back here, up here. If you're building Chuko New, maybe it's right here so you have faster reinforcements. But you got 2 golds here too. You want to cut off the raiding. So, but I think stopping the raids down the road is probably the easiest thing to do. And you already have this hill dominantly, so probably don't need it here. Looks like he is going for a fast Imperial again, and Songsong is also doing the same. Interesting. And it looks like it might actually be a good decision by Project Belgium. I didn't realize this castle was here. If it turns into a Treb War, you definitely want both castles there, so... anyways, I might have been wrong in this case, and he might have been right here. So, but for future reference, it's when you put your second castle, or even where you put your first one, is a very important decision. And some of those things you want to take into account is, what reserves do I need to protect? What hills do I want to secure? Am I Treb warring someone? What's happening here? So, I think this is a good move by Project Belgium here. So he's also secured, kill these buildings, so he's got gold here. University, okay. Double siege shop. What is Songsong going here? I would not recommend Rams against Chuko Nu on a hill with 2 castles. I don't think it's Onagers. So he sees that Project Belgium has knights, so I'm really curious to see what this is. Don't get me wrong, though. It's hard to make a decision on what to do in this circumstance. Against Chuko Nu on a hill, a couple Mangonels. Okay, so he is going Onagers, so he is realizing he's going Chuko Nu. But if you're going to go Onagers, usually you need some sort of pikeman with it, or especially when your opponent has already got some of the upgrades for cavalry. So we'll see how that goes here. Especially uphill here. I mean, I guess maybe you do a couple gates and house walls and stuff to try and trap from behind walls. But and it looks like Project Belgium isn't going cavalry here, so might have some time to deal with this. Okay, let's speed it up for a sec. It looks like we're just waiting until they hit imp here, so there we go. Now, decision time. Songsong's up to imp first. Double barracks here. Okay, what the barracks for? Now I'm really confused. Chuko Nu and what? Champions, maybe? Yeah, champions. Okay. And I can respect that. And the reason why I can is, in all honesty... Oh, got some good micro here. Celts doesn't have, you know, I think it's a pretty safe unit. You got the hills. You're not sure if you're going to lose your castles. It's going to be a Treb War. You want to have a backup unit. And the question is it going to be cavalry or is it going to be infantry? And I think in either case, they're both going to work out pretty well once you have some Chuko Nu behind. Looks like he is focusing down the siege shop first. It's going to be tough to defend. Even if you have Onagers. Let's see here. He's got a few woads going for the raid. No upgrades on them, so he's obviously not going woads. So his main goal here is just to do Onagers at the moment. Shoving down this castle here. It's a lot of Trebs. 5 Trebs is no joke. Going for the second town center here. And in come the 2 hand swords. So I think it's tough to stop these, because once they get close to these mangonels, there's nothing you can really do about this. They're going to die, and these are so cheap compared to onagers that every one you lose is a really big deal. But if you lose a couple two-hand swords, it's not that big a deal. And he's raiding at the same time. Does need the armor upgrade, but still a pretty good raid, killing a lot of villagers. And 5 trebs on this castle, so you need to get the onagers over here right away. But it's hard to do that when there's champions focusing you down. Yeah, this is where it's a tough decision, because once champions are up close, there's not much you can really do. Yeah, so I think that was a good combination by Project Belgium here. I think whether it was Cav or light Cav or champions, you're going to get the onagers, going to get the scorpions and the trebs, and raiding in both cases would be very effective with either. This is a pretty good game. Played the safe castles, and I like the early Castle Age aggression. That was a really close fight in a few spots here. Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, see you in the next one.